morning, my favourite people in the whole entire world. I'm feeling super ill, like super ill today. My eyes are hurting. So the first book I'm reading on my rereading my 5-star reads video is A Trial of Sorcerers, because if you know, you know. If you've been here on the original Library of Days account on TikTok back in the day, like 2021, I'm talking about, this book was my personality. I loved this book. I was like, well, if we're going to reread some of my favourite books, it has to be this one, because there are so many of you who message me and you're like, oh, I remember that book from when like you first started, and it's very wholesome to me. So this is what we're reading. Please ignore my little man. He is a lamp. He is a book light that you can, like, let me show you, because he's actually really cool. I got this for my 21st. Look, you can like bend him to sit, so I like to put him in my book and like bend him over like that so he can like sit in. It's really cool. And he's a lamp, so I can go to bed without getting out and putting the big light on. I just go boop. Anyway, I'm gonna try and get to about page 100 today of this. I'm not putting too much pressure on reading, because I feel like recently I've really been putting a lot of pressure on what I'm reading and I'm not enjoying it as much. I think it's because I set my book goal to 100, and I did read 110 books last year, but I felt that was maybe a bit of a fluke. Normally I read about 80, that's normal for me, but I set it to 100. So I'm trying to get ahead, so if I fall behind, but like I've got a whole year. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying not to stress, but I'm gonna read some of this now, and that's it really. The parcel came, so I'm currently reading The Castle of Otranto. This is the parcel. No idea who this is from, but it says, I actually just don't know who this is from. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Whoa, that's so sick. Oh my god. Oh my god, thanks, Faber. This is Infinity Alchemist by Case and Calendar, and I have the arc of this, but this paperback is so cool. That sounds so good. Thank you so much. Oh my god, I didn't know I was getting the finished copy. This is great. Thank you. This I gave 5 stars back in 2021. I was obsessed with this book for a really long time. I thought it was incredible. I did DNF the rest of the series just because they didn't live up to this at all. As I'm reading it, I'm loving it, don't get me wrong, but those first 50 pages, you really notice are the first 50 pages of a book. The writing develops way better, and especially Alice as a character. Alice as a character in those first 50 pages, I really struggled to like, whereas last time I liked her straight away from, if my memory serves. It felt very stiff. It felt very, not in a bad way, but like fan fiction-y in the beginning, like how stiff it was. Now it doesn't. Now it's, you know, we've got character development, we see things happening, but yeah, I don't know, it just maybe those first 3 or 4 chapters just felt a little bit weird. So I think, dare I say, I think I'm in a reading slump. I'm really struggling. I've got no motivation to read. I don't want to read. Like, all of these things, I'm just not interested in reading. I'm going to go read some more now. My goal is to get to page 150 today, and then maybe finish it off tomorrow, because it's about 300 pages. So, yeah, I am busy today with lots of uni work. Do you know what? Something that I forgot about this book is how good the romance is. It's so subliminal, so under the radar. Like, this is not a spoiler, but it just like is between them. So he says, I'm going to invite you to court tomorrow. I mean, I am inviting you to court. And he says, tomorrow I would like you to be my guest at court. And she says, why? And he's like, it's not because I want to be around you. A liar. You're a liar. I did forget that I really enjoyed the romance. And I think this is what it was. It was such a slow burn romance in it. It's so good. It's so good. For some reason, I thought this scene that we are witnessing right now was like here, and now it's happening. I'm like, I forgot how good this is, because the romance in it is so, like I said, it's hardly noticeable, but things happen in it that are romantic, but they're not to do with the actual romance. And it has one of my favorite tropes ever. It's got the distraction kiss trope in it, which is so elite and this is another trope that's very difficult to find, like academic rivals. They are very sporadic. You don't find the distraction kiss that often, where it's like, kiss me so we don't know, or like, shut up and kiss me, or do you trust me, and then they kiss them, that type of stuff. It's got it. Like, to be completely honest, there is a whole subplot of romance. There's 2 romances in this, a slow burn and a subplot. The subplot of romance I hate, because you see our main girl, Era, be very naive. She's a very naive girly about the subplot of romance. The slow burn of romance, I'm like, how do you not see? It's so good. It's so good. I'm really enjoying this reread. My past self, I think I was 18 when I read Oh my god, I was 18 when I read this. Oh my god. That's crazy to me. Wow. My 18-year-old self, I'm happy she gave 5 stars to this. I don't know if my 21-year-old self will so far. I'm not sure. But I am having a really great time. And I still don't know why this book is not as popular as it should be. Hello guys, so I've literally just this second finished A Trial of Sorcerers by Elise Cover. And is this a 5-star read? No. I think back when I read it when I was 18, I was new to fantasy. I was so excited for I think this is definitely fantasy romance, I would argue, but it's not at the forefront. It's very political. It's like a political fantasy with a romance subplot, kind of like The Cruel Prince, except there's a little bit more romance in it than The Cruel Prince. But I am going to give this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's just there were some bits that, again, they just felt really stiff to me, and they felt as though characters weren't real. Which I really struggle with, because I love the character so much. And then there was one tiny little bit which the pacing was just so completely off. Everything happened too quickly and was resolved too quickly, which is just so annoying. But I did enjoy it. I still would class this as one of my favourite books. It's just no longer a 5-star read. But for my 18-year-old self, it most definitely was. And like, it doesn't take away from the fact that the first time I read it, it was a 5-star. It just isn't now, you know. It doesn't take away from that, but I did enjoy this and I'm glad I reread it. But we need to choose the next book that we're going to read for the 5-star read video. So I'm thinking of going for an Emily Henry book, because I haven't read an M. Hen since last year, the beginning of last year, when I read Happy Place, and I read that super quick. So I'm really thinking of going for You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. I think I read this in a day back in 2021, so again, another 2021 read. And look at my little tabs, these are so cute. So I think I'm gonna reread You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. It's not a summer, but I just think I need a silly little romance book to get me through. I love this so much, and I also think this will be a good decider as to whether it's still my favorite Emily Henry book, or whether Happy Place kind of takes that crown now, because Happy Place was so good. So good. So yeah, this is the next one we're gonna read, and it's just like my comfort book, and I haven't read it in so long, so I'm slightly nervous, but I also think that I'm just gonna love it. And I have forgotten a lot of things that have happened in this, so it's kind of, so going into it with like the forgetful eyes, where you're like, oh my god, I forgot about that. I'm so excited. It's literally dark, guys. How is it this dark? I'm reading You and Me on Vacation still. I'm like this close to finishing. This book is literally so good. I love it so much. This is my book. This is my favourite book ever. I think, no, it's not ever, but it's my favourite rom-com. Alex and Poppy. And you know what? Even the 3rd act conflict hits different. Because I'm like, guys, what are you on about? Because it makes sense. It's like the 3rd act conflict in this makes so much sense. The breakup act makes sense. And that's what I want. I want it to make sense. I got 50 pages left. I thought I had way less than that. Anyway, I'm going to finish this now and then cry my eyes out because I love it so much. Okay. I just finished 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Love this book. I just don't think anybody understands the relationship I have with this book. I remember finishing this and thinking, oh my god, I love Friends to Lovers, all I need is an Alex Nelson. She's delusional. Do you know the guys that I met? Do you know the guys that I met on my Freshers week? Not Alex Nelson, but I love this book. I deserve this love story. I deserve a love story like this. It brings me so much joy. It makes me so happy. This is definitely my favourite, I think, of the lot. I need to reread Happy Place at some point, but this just hits the spot. So yeah, 5 stars. This is still a 5-star read. Still a 5-star read. I loved this so much. I'm so happy about it. For the next book that we're gonna read that was a 5-star read, I don't know. I kind of want like a short-ish book. I'm kind of trying to get through some short books so I can tackle a long book. One of them are giving, I think. Oh, are we gonna do it? This book I'm about to show you is The True Test, okay? Because this book had me crying, okay? This is the first book that I think I actually cried at, ever. No, I think this is the second book I ever cried at, first standalone book I cried over. If We Were Villains by Emma Rio. I remember reading this and being like, lives have been changed, my life has been changed. Also this has been tabbed as well. There's some writing in this. What did I write? She is an English lit student, that's for sure. Grasping at straws, aren't we, Days? We're gonna do it. This is The True Test. And then we've also done a fantasy book, a romance, and a dark academia. So like this shows the range of my reading skills, my reading genre, my preferred reading genres. But this is what will stand the true test of time. If We Were Villains for the Shakespeare Guide. Growth leads you somewhere better, so take your time, relax your mind. It's alright, it's alright, yeah. It's alright, it's alright, yeah. It's alright, it's alright, yeah, yeah. Okay, I have reached officially the page 246 mark of If We Were Villains. I love this book. I remember how much I loved it at the time, and I'm speeding through this. Like I think I've had like 2 proper sessions of reading this book, like properly sitting down and reading, and I'm loving it. I genuinely forgot how good this was. The relationships that you see the characters build and already have is so interesting. I love the whole James and Oliver situation that goes on, and then Meredith kind of being this outlier that tries to put herself into that sort of relationship, if that's what you want to call it. We've got past the point involving Richard now, and you're starting to see things unravel and things unfold. It's so good, so good. So yeah, If We Were Villains, I'm loving it. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know if it is a 5-star. So far it's not giving me the 5-star feeling. Maybe it was those final few lines that threw me into that 5-star territory. But yeah, I'm really, really into it. I'm kind of hoping I get this done within the next couple of days because I don't have much left. And I need to, I was going to say I need to know what happens, but I know what happens. I just want to see it again. Yeah, I really love this. This is the perfect type of book for me. Oh my god, what a book, what a book. I'm going to be completely honest, although I love this and I definitely class it as one of my favourite books of all time, I'm not 100% sure it's a 5-star read for me. I think it's more of like a 4.5 now. Honestly, I think it's because the first time you go into this, there's so much shock factor to it, and that's what plays into the 5-star. So yes, it is a 5-star read, and I would say to people this is a 5-star read with a reread, just because you obviously lose the shock factor, you lose the plot twists because you've already experienced them. It becomes a 4.5, which I think is still incredible considering I read this 3 years ago and it had such an impact on me. It still has the same impact on me, just very, very slightly less. I think 4.5 is incredible. So yeah, I definitely was right with my 5-star rating at the beginning, and I think if I read it now for the first time, it would still be a 5-star. Like, just because it's a 4.5 now doesn't take away from the fact it was a 5, which I think is the main theme of this. I think if you read this for the first time, you would definitely agree that it's a 5-star because it's that final line. Like, I just read it and I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So to do a little wrap up of what we read, firstly we read A Trial of Sorcerers by Elise Cover. I gave this 5 stars back in 2021 and now it's sitting at like a 4 stars. Again, I did mention I DNF the rest of the series, but this book as a standalone I think is really great, and I really would recommend this if you're looking for a young adult fantasy that's a little bit political, that's a little bit romantic, that's a slow burn. I recommend this. Of course, the true Showstopper, You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry just hits a little bit different. I don't really know what it is about this book. I think it's because I love Alex Nilsson so much, like so much. I think that's really what sells it for me. Out of all the Emily Henry books, this is the one that really feels like a comfort read to me, and I'm so grateful for this book. Finally, we have If We Were Villains by Emil Rio. 5 stars back in 2021, 4.5, almost a 5 this time. I personally really love Meredith as a character. I think she's incredible, and the first time around I remember being like, I wasn't a huge fan, but now seeing her through like older eyes, I'm like, I love that woman. I think she's great. So yeah, definitely love this book a lot. So that was me rereading my 5-star reads from 2021. We have one that is still a 5-star, a 4.5 and a 4. So essentially I think my rating system is really kind of there, you know, hasn't changed too much. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.